All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you are having an awesome day. It's starting to get nice out, so I'm really enjoying that. So today, I'd like to welcome you all to the show. Welcome to RCAM. And today we're going to be talking about wisdom. And the first thing I wanted to tell you guys is this. If you're, and I'm going to speak specifically to women right now. If you have candy in the cabinet for more than a week, your husband does have the right to eat that candy. I think it's written in the Constitution. And husbands, if you do eat that candy and she is angry, make up for that by buying her an even bigger candy bar, because I think that'll make a huge difference and it'll save you a lot of grief. This is wisdom. I'm telling you from experience. Hence why I have this Twix bar for my wife. So today we're going to talk about wisdom. And I want to start with a couple questions. Have you ever wanted to avoid the disaster that comes with making a bad decision? Have you ever wanted to catch a glimpse into the future and avoid a dangerous path? Well, I have good news for you. You can do that by applying something I like to call wisdom. So, in our culture, we are told a lot of lies. And in fact, we are constantly told lies. So it's no surprise to me that we have become a people that are devoid of wisdom. One of the lies I hate hearing the most is this idea that we have to make mistakes first to learn from them. And I'm going to say that is total and complete nonsense. We don't need to make mistakes to learn the lesson. What we need to do is just wise up and use wisdom from the get-go. So I'll frequently hear people say things like, "I need to make my own mistakes," or "I would have never learned if I didn't go through it myself," or "They're just going to have to firsthand see what it's like." And I grew up with living in a generation that frequently tossed around the phrase YOLO, which was just an excuse really to make really poor life decisions. And I really don't want more people making decisions when they can avoid them. And I really just detest this way of thinking. I think it's foolish, and I really don't believe you have to make mistakes to learn some of the tough lessons. So I don't know if any of you guys have seen the story of the Pope going around a couple weeks ago. It was a video, and these people are standing in line to meet the Pope, which is, I guess, a huge honor. And I guess it's traditional for people to kiss the ring of the Pope. So all these people are in line. They're waiting to meet the Pope, and as they're walking up to meet the Pope, they go down to kiss the Pope's ring, and the Pope recoils back, pulls his hand back, is like, "Nah, I ain't having any of that," and then people proceed to do the same thing over and over again. So the second guy in the line follows suit, and he goes for the ring kiss, and the Pope pulls his hand back. He isn't having any of that. Then the third guy does it, and then people after the third guy keep making the same mistake. They keep going in for the ring kiss, and I'm watching this. I'm like, what's wrong with you guys? Did you just not see the Pope deny these people, the people ahead of you, several times? No one successfully got the ring kiss. He kept pulling his hand back, but they kept going for it. I'm like, what? What are you doing? What are you doing? And I do need to warn you guys that if you go and watch this video, just prepare to watch the most cringe-worthy thing you've ever seen in your entire life. You might actually cringe to death. I almost died watching this of secondhand embarrassment. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. I just watched in horror as person after person got denied the opportunity to kiss the Pope's ring. But I don't feel bad for them because most of them, I feel bad for the first guy because he didn't know. But every person after that, I'm like, but you just saw him get denied. Clearly, the Pope doesn't want you kissing his ring, but they kept doing it, and they could have spared themselves the embarrassment, and they could have spared uh, the internet the secondhand embarrassment if they had just used wisdom and said, the first 3 people got denied. I'm probably going to get denied. Let me not go for it. But they kept on going for it. You'd have to see it to just, no, I don't know. Use your discretion. It was really difficult to watch. But my point is that you don't need to personally go through something to know that it's a bad idea. I mean, seriously, if any of you guys had saw someone jump off a roof and break their legs, you'd say to yourself, I need to do that. I need to know I need to know the pain of what that's like in order for me not to do it in the future. No, because that would be crazy. No one in the right mind would do that. So chances are you probably won't do that. Yet we have this mentality in our day-to-day lives. We open and max out credit cards despite seeing the financial hardship our parents went through. We choose to get into relationships with people we know have had the same poor qualities as the last person we are with. Which, while I'm on that subject, just a little bit of wisdom for you guys. When you are, and ladies, when you are choosing your future spouse, I really, really encourage you, even when you go on dates, whatever the relationship is, that you choose to be involved with somebody that shares the same values as you. Don't get involved with somebody that does not line up with your values. So, if you know that you want to have babies in the future and you know that they don't want to, it's a good indicator to just wash your hands of it, walk away, and find somebody else that shares the same values as you. Because I'm telling you, if you do get married to this person or you do commit to them for a long time, it's going to come back to bite you. And it's better to just enter a relationship on shared values and then build off of that. But don't go in not having the same values. I mean, there are little differences you can have, but I mean, I'm talking about core values. They should be the same. So we are guilty of making some of the same poor decisions that we've seen destroy other people's lives. And I'm going to use another example. You don't have to touch a scalding hot furnace to know that it's a bad idea and that you're going to get burned. You can actually learn the lesson without having to suffer the negative consequences of that mistake. And this is what wisdom is. Wisdom is learning the lesson without having to make the mistake. So the reasons we are encouraged to listen to our elders is because they know a thing or two about mistakes, because they themselves have made mistakes. So we learn from the mistakes they made. We ourselves don't go ahead and make those same mistakes. And wisdom involves making the right choices. And we can learn to make the right choices by listening to those who have gone before us. We can avoid paths that potentially lead to destruction by following the paths of the people who have gone prior to us. So I really encourage you, learn from other people's mistakes. Don't go ahead and make those same mistakes yourself. Don't go ahead and make the same mistakes in an effort to learn something you've already seen happen. You don't need to do that yourself. Just apply wisdom, see what they did, see how it didn't work, and learn from that. But don't go doing the same exact thing. This is foolishness. And I feel like seeking wisdom is like having a glimpse into the future. And you can see where the path leads before you ever get on it. It's a roadmap that directs our steps and gets us to where we want to go without having to endure unnecessary pain. And I'm not saying that we're not gonna make mistakes. We're human beings. We're all going to make mistakes. But what I am saying is that we can minimize the mistakes that we make by applying wisdom. And when we do make mistakes, we can examine our failures and we can learn from them to avoid making the same mistake. We can avoid making these poor life choices. We don't need to do it. We don't need to do it again to know it's a mistake. And I think one of the real curses on our society is that we ignore the wisdom of those who have gone before us. We take what they say for granted, and we think we have everything figured out. We think we can conquer the world, and we go in, and we find ourselves in trouble. And it's because we didn't listen to people. And I think it's foolish not to listen to people that at least have an idea on how some of these issues we face in life work, especially if they've gone through it before. So the beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom. Wisdom is important. Seek after it with all of your heart. One of the beautiful things about our society or about our culture is that we all have a cell phone. Typically, most of us have a cell phone in the palm of our hands. And we have access to all the information in the world right here on this device. And I think that's a beautiful thing because we can utilize Google and we can utilize YouTube to help us learn. I can't tell you guys how many awesome things I've learned how to do this year just because of YouTube. I never changed a toilet fixed a toilet in my life. Guess what? I applied wisdom. I was like, somebody's probably done this before. Let me look at YouTube. Looked up a YouTube video, got a great tutorial on how to fix a toilet, and I went and did it myself, and it was actually relatively easy. And I got to watch somebody do it before doing it myself. Had I had ignored the advice of this person, had I not looked at it in the first place, I probably would have toiled with that toilet for a really long time. Same with my headlight. I had to go change my headlight. Never did that before in my life. Looked at a YouTube video, got some guidance, watched somebody that has already done it, and then followed their lead. And I was able to learn, and I was able to do it myself, which was awesome. But had I had tried it myself, I probably would have struggled a lot more. So in addition to the information that we have available, I also encourage you guys to seek out people in your life that have more experience than you do. Surround yourself with people who have overcome some of the same problems and obstacles that you face. I'm telling you, you will be better off for it. Anytime I'm really struggling with something and I can't figure it out and I'm at my wit's end, I go talk to somebody who's been through it before, and I ask them for advice. And here's the revolutionary thing, all right? Here's what's really going to make a difference. When you seek out advice from somebody, listen to them. If you've seen that they've had victory in this area, take their advice. Listen to them. Apply that wisdom to your own life. And I'm telling you, it will make a difference. So I'm going to tell you guys a little story real quick. It's called A Tale of Three Cars. So I have three people in my life. They were all seeking to get new vehicles. And they all just happened to ask me for advice on the matter. So I had previously financed a vehicle. I don't think it's a good idea. I think if you have the money in your pocket, you should go right out and buy a new vehicle. And this is wisdom. I took Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University, and that guy knows a thing or two about finances. So I took what he said seriously, and I started applying to my own life. And guess what? It worked because the guy knows a thing or two. He's been through it, and I basically relayed that information to these people that were going to get cars. One out of the three people listened to my advice, and that the person that did was actually found himself in a pretty good situation financially, where the people that didn't found themselves in trouble with their car payments and found themselves in really challenging situations that they could have avoided had they listened to the advice that was given to them. And I'm not saying to I'm not trying to make myself to be out like this old wise sage. I'm not. But I applied advice that I had learned from somebody else and shared that with people who were seeking advice. And they found themselves in a really financially challenging situation. And I'm telling you, you don't have to be in that situation. If you just seek wisdom and you do research and you look at the people that have gone before you, you can avoid some of those same pitfalls. Another place that I go to for wisdom is the book of Proverbs in the Bible. Now, even if you don't believe in the Bible, I would still encourage you to read the book of Proverbs, because it is full of wisdom, wise sayings that can help you in this life and help you navigate some of the difficult situations we find ourselves in life. So my advice and my encouragement to you guys today is to avoid making mistakes when possible by applying wisdom. It will make a very real difference in your life. And you will have a lot less regret, and you'll be a lot happier for having done so. And if you don't know something, it's okay. It's okay not to know things. But it's not okay to ignore sound advice when it's right in front of you. So I encourage you guys again to seek wisdom, seek after it with your whole heart, and apply it. Apply it, because it is a precious, beautiful thing that will help you have victory in a lot of areas in your life. So thank you guys for joining me today. God bless.